rules.
On July 4th, 1776, our forefathers bravely declared the United States of America to be forever free. Immediately, young men from throughout these new United Colonies took up arms and swore to defend this land with everything they had, including their lives.
It wasn't until many years later that an official Veterans Day was proclaimed to honor the men and women who so ably served in our defense. Today, we honor them all, including those who first stepped forward and bravely proclaimed, "We, the people of the United States." Now, please stand for the presentation of the flag and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance and National Anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose sunshines and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streamed, and the rocket's red glare, the buffers in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Good morning. My name is Lisa Dunn. I'm the principal here at this wonderful school, Crossing Public School. Now I want to take a moment to welcome all of our parents, of course, welcome our students, most especially to welcome our honored guests, our veterans. We thank you so much for coming and spending a moment with us this morning. We have paused our regular academic schedule so that we can remember and honor those brave men and women who have sacrificed and served for our country. And you know, as we do this, basically, we hope to pass on to the next generation that legacy of gratitude and the understanding of the debt that we owe to all men and women, both those that are here and those that are not here, and for all the liberties and the freedoms that we have. So thank you again for coming, and I hope that you can have a program today. Thank you.
I'm Kathleen, and before I go any further, I just want to thank the entire student body for dressing in red, white, and blue. You look absolutely awesome. It's a great picture. This day is not possible without everybody coming together as a community to do their part to celebrate this day. And we have Play-Doh, and choir, and band, and pads, and student council, and the faculty and administration. It's a great, great day. As you know, Veterans Day, all my students know that it's always been a very, very big part of my life. It's taken on an even greater importance because of the gentleman sitting behind me at the Germany long time. It's a very, very big part of my life. I know he is, okay? Recently, my daughter was married in April, and she and her husband moved to Florida together in July. And he's recently deployed to Afghanistan. He's there right now. And he is just one of my big, big heroes. He's in the Air Force, my daughter's in the Air Force. And we just found out a couple of weeks ago that she will also be going to Afghanistan around March or April. And when I stand here today before you, and I talk about the importance of this day, it's always been important when you have a family member, or someone like Captain Martin who is a family member today, it takes on an even greater meaning and greater importance. I pray every day for all the men and women who serve our country, and I put a little extra prayer in there for my son, Jim. Okay, before we go on any further with our other speakers, I'd like to honor a very special young lady here, Lauren Peebles.
It's an honor to speak to you guys. Well, good morning. My name is Lauren Peebles. As Rose said, imagine being alone. Imagine being away from your friends and family. Imagine your mission is to help children and families in a war zone and protect the United States of America from any threat. You are a soldier, a U.S. soldier. We wanted to make our soldiers feel like they were not alone. So we created a campaign called A Bit of Home for Our Heroes. Our Girls Members' mission was to collect supplies to our heroes serving in Afghanistan. Imagine receiving a package from our Cross Members family in Texas. Last year, we sent 18 boxes of supplies to our troops. I was proud to be a part of this great school. Today, I need your help. I need your time and also your generosity. Today, I challenge you to carry our chosen mission at Cross Members. We need to find the next generation of our Cross Members family to carry on bringing a bit of home to our parents, to the soldier or sailor or even Marine overseas. Who can step up to our call of duty? Who can be part of our new tradition? Will it be you? I have left Cross Members, but I hope our mission continues to brighten the day of men and women on this way. This morning, we honor our men and women of the military who serve our country. Their sacrifice allows us to enjoy the land of the free and the home of the brave. We are eternally grateful. Happy Veterans Day. Thank you.
Playbill has another little statement we're going to read for you, and it's going to end with the Armed Forces salute played on the band. When you, all the veterans here at your branch, play your music, please stand up so we can honor you.
It was 1914. We were on the brink of war. It was called World War I. The Great War. The war to end all wars. It raged from 1914 to 1918. There were over 40 million casualties, more than 20 million military and civilian deaths.
American men and women served heroically until the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month on 1918, when it all finally came to an end. Today, that day is remembered as Veterans Day.
Unfortunately, the war to end all wars didn't. Once again, soldiers were called to defend those who could not defend themselves. Boys from the Midwest suddenly found themselves fighting in the Far East. Teenagers whose parents and grandparents came to America from Europe found themselves fighting for freedom in their parents' homeland. which did not seem like home to them.
Men and women from hometowns such as Tulsa, Miami, Fresno, and Albuquerque found themselves in the trenches of Normandy and Iwo Jima. World War II raged on from 1941 to 1945 and was the deadliest conflict in the history of the world.
It would not be long after World War II that American soldiers would be caught again, this time in what has become known as the Korean Conflict. But to the veterans who served there, and the families who left behind, it was another war we fought. And then there was Vietnam.
We salute the brave veterans who bore the weight of unimaginable conditions, both at war and when returning home. It is never too late to say thank you. So on this Veterans Day, we humbly say, thank you.
In Iraq and Afghanistan, our soldiers bravely served. In Kuwait and Bosnia, our soldiers honored us with their beautiful service. In places with name we rarely heard, our veterans heard the call and sacrificed it all.
For those who continue to serve, we say that we have not forgotten. For those who have served and come home, we again say thank you and welcome. Welcome home. No matter if you serve in the Army, Air Force, Navy, Marines, or Coast Guard, we are forever grateful for what you sacrificed for us. Your sweat and tears are not forgotten, and never will be. In your honor, our band will play each branch's official song. When your branch of service is called, please stand to your feet.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Roy, librarian here at CTMS, and as many of you know, we have an upcoming book fair this weekend at Barnes & Noble. The reason we chose to announce it here is because Barnes & Noble is doing an awesome charity right now. Through the USO, they are doing a program called United Through Reading. What you do is you go to Barnes & Noble, and they have a box of books to choose from. You pick the one that you would like, and they ship it to a soldier overseas. That soldier then goes to the nearest USO office and reads it aloud while being videotaped. Then that book and the videotape are sent back to that soldier's family so that those children can see their soldier, their mother or father, and their uncle, reading a book out loud to them. And if you buy it this Saturday in the Barnes & Noble South Lake, you benefit not only this wonderful charity, but Cross Timbers Middle School. You should remember to mention you are there with the book.
Our first guest speaker today is Dr. Maldonado, and as I've said to you already, he's a very, very special friend of mine. He was an usher at my daughter's wedding, and his sweet, sweet little girl, Gwen, her favorite little girl in the whole world, was a flower. So we had very strong family ties. He has a wonderful wife, and they are living in Oklahoma City right now. Captain Jeremy Maldonado is an assistant staff judge advocate assigned to the 72nd Air Base Wing, Tinker Air Force Base, Oklahoma. He is currently serving as the Chief of Adverse Operations. He assists the staff judge advocate in providing legal support to commanders and first sergeants assigned to the Air Force Sustainment Center, Oklahoma City Air Logistics Complex, 5 wings, and 45 associate units. Captain Maldonado is responsible for the administration of non-judicial punishment for over 5,600 personnel. Captain Maldonado received a direct commission as an Air Force Judge Advocate in September 2010 and entered active duty in October 2010. Prior to joining the Air Force, Captain Maldonado served as an Assistant District Attorney for the Harris County District Attorney's Office in Houston. During his 3.5 years at the DA's office, he served as the Chief Prosecutor in several county courts and as a felony prosecutor in several district courts. As an Assistant DA, Captain Maldonado led over 25 fully litigated jury trials in addition to numerous hearings involving probation revocations and motions to suppress. He received his Bachelor of Arts degree at the University of Texas in Austin, followed by his law degree at the University of Iowa College of Law. He has successfully completed the Judge Advocate Staff Officer course days on at Maxwell Air Force Base, Combat Airman Skills Training at Fort Dix, and Squadron Officer School. His assignments from November 2010 to July 2013, he was Chief of Legal Assistance Claims, Medical Law, and Ethics at the Air Force Nuclear Weapons Center, Portland Air Force Base in Albuquerque, New Mexico. He was deployed to Afghanistan from July 2012, June 2012 through December 2012. He was in the Helmand Province in Afghanistan. From July 2013 to the present, he has been Assistant Staff Judge Advocate at the 72nd Air Base Wing in Tinker Air Force Base, Oklahoma. He has had numerous awards and decorations, including Air Force Commendation Medal, Army Commendation Medal, Joint Notorious Unit Award, Air Force Organizational Excellence Award, National Defense Service Medal, Afghanistan Campaign Medal, Global War on Terrorism Medal, Air Force Expeditionary Service Gold Award, Air Force Training Ribbon, a NATO Medal, and the 2012 AFMC Outstanding Young Judge Advocate Award. He received his first commission in October of 2010 as First Lieutenant and received promotion to Captain in April 2011. Please help me in welcoming Captain Jeremy Maldonado.
I'm really humbled. Captain Jeremy Maldonado. We were here in Ohio, said to a bunch of people, like, this is my biggest audience I've ever had. I've been an attorney now for almost 7 years, and spoken to a lot of various audiences. As a prosecutor, usually when I'm speaking, I'm giving arguments with somebody's in trouble, and I'm advocating that something bad happens, they go to prison or they go to jail or something like that. But so this is nice, lighthearted. I like this, and I'm really, really humbled that everyone here is gathering so we can talk about some experiences and public service and education. That's really what I want to talk about today. But with that, also I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I experienced in Afghanistan, so you have a general idea of some of the things that I experienced and some of the things that other service members also experienced. Here are just some pictures on the side here that we'll be going, but and I'll touch a little bit on that a little bit later on. But one of the things also had one for having me here today. She also is a good friend from the family. Her daughter is very, very good friend of mine, and her son-in-law as well is, like she said, is currently in Afghanistan, and unfortunately, being a military couple, with her husband being behind and then also after being deployed and potentially in April, they're going to spend a significant amount of time apart, which is unfortunate, but that's what we do. We spend a lot of time away from our families, whether through trainings or deployments or being stationed in various places. So it's been just part of the job. But as a result, it's very rewarding and we live a very, very good life. So this time last year was in Afghanistan, in the province. Has anyone here ever heard of the Helmand province before? You have? The Helmand province is kind of a weird place in Afghanistan because it's a place where really only the Marines go to the Helmand province. Historically, it was a Marines base. And the reason why primarily the Marines are here is because it is one of the most dangerous areas in Afghanistan, arguably. And there's other parts that are pretty dangerous and maybe people believe dangerous to tell me. But the Helmand province is, they send Marines out there because the Marines are tough. You have a Marine here, I know. So Marines are they're trained to fight, and especially their infantry troops. I mean, that's really their bread and butter. That's what they do, and they're really good. For me, for the airmen in the Air Force. Can everybody see me? Okay. For me, being an airman being an airman out in Afghanistan with a Marine battalion, it was, very, very different. And I think when I arrived, it was really a shock because I thought I was going to probably be made with the Army with maybe other Air Force people. And instead, I wasn't told a whole lot about what I was doing in Afghanistan. So when I arrived, I was out there with the Marines living on a forward operating base, which is basically just a small camp of Marines, and there was something to food. We didn't really have a lot of food going around. We have MRE, if anybody knows what an MRE is. It's just a sample meal ready, and it's basically just something that you heat up really quick. It's actually absolutely horrible. You don't recommend it. But that's what we eat for 2 meals a day, and we get 1 hot meal at night. And the hot meal usually consists of some sort of, maybe hot dog without lines and a little bit of rice. And that was okay. That was our living. We didn't have plumbing, so there was no. If you wanted to use the restroom, you couldn't actually go to a toilet or go to a normal restroom. Actually, I picture those. I didn't bring them here today, but it's a different type of thing. And as you all know, I am a lawyer, and when I joined the service, I never, ever thought that I would find myself in that situation. I knew, okay, I could relate well with other Air Force people. I will never find myself in a situation like that. I never thought. But, I ended up being out there in that sort of situation, very, very volatile area. It was, I remember, around this time, we started to quiet down in Afghanistan. For the several months that I was out there prior, there were bombs, explosions going off on a regular basis. And I remember when I eventually moved to a British camp, where there were also Brits and Marines. It seemed like at least 3 or 4 times a week I was going to memorial. And since it was British, it was usually the Brits that we were honoring. They just passed maybe a couple days before, and we were having a memorial service. And I remember a couple times we were gathering with Jordanians, Brits, the U.S. Marines, U.S. Army, Danes, and Dutch troops all coming together to honor somebody that just passed 2 days before by stepping on an IED or being shot in the field. So that's just kind of a kind of glimpse of what people are really experiencing out there. So when I hear about all these programs with Barnes and Noble and packages and all that kind of stuff, it is a tremendous, it means a lot to people out there. Because when you're out there, it's just, you're away from your family and you just can't wait to come home. It seems like time just passes so incredibly slow. 6 months feels like 2 years. That's my advice to kid. But I want to go ahead and get into a little bit. I want to just get into a little bit about what the overall, what I was out there doing. Basically, I was out there as a advisor to African judges and prosecutors. So basically, I was advising our equivalent lawyers. And when I went out there, I noticed that there was just a fundamental breakdown in the system, a lot of corruption, a lot of problems within the government. And really, especially I think before you talking about my experiences, it amazed me the lack of education out there. And in my opinion, I think that's a big part of a lot of the problems out there. There's a lot of problems out there, obviously. But one of the things here that I think a lot of us just take for granted, we're Americans, and we have education available to us. And we, men and women, young men and young women can go to school and they can do whatever they want to do. I said I wanted to be a lawyer, I became a lawyer. I said I wanted to be a DA, I became a DA. I went to college, I went to law school. These are the things that I just, kind of throughout my time took for granted. And that when I went down to Afghanistan, I realized people don't have those kind of opportunities. My wife, she's a dental student right now, so she's going to be a dentist. And it's something in Afghanistan that would never be open to her. In the particular area that I was in, Helen Province, it's something that young females can't go to school. It just wasn't allowed. I think in the 6 months that I was there, I saw one female. The females were kept somewhere else. I never saw it. Besides that one that I just said, I never saw any other females in Afghanistan that were actually Afghan women, because they just don't have the same opportunities that men do. So I just say that because I just want to make sure that everybody is kind of aware of the opportunities that we have and really takes advantage of all those opportunities and the educational benefits that, being an American, and that's really, in my opinion, that's what it's all about, public service and education. You have your entire future ahead of you, and you can really do whatever you want. And that's the kind of country we live in. We live in a place where if you, like I said, if you want to be a lawyer, you want to be a doctor, you want to be a firefighter or a soldier, you can do it because the options are open to you, because that's the kind of country we live in. But also, when you're going through your life and you're making your way and figuring out what you want to do for yourself, you're taking advantage, hopefully, of all the educational opportunities that are out there. I also just want to stress that it is so important to be a public servant. And it doesn't mean you actually have to be a soldier or a teacher or a firefighter or a police officer. You just going out and helping, sending packages to the troops, or going to a place during Thanksgiving to serve food to the homeless. These are, luckily, I get paid to be a public servant, so it's easy for me to kind of get out there and get back to my community. But I tell you that, in my opinion, that's really what makes us Americans. We, as Americans, we are educated and we also give back to our community. And that is the biggest part, I think, of what being an American say, just think about what does it mean to you? You know, it may not mean just public service or just education to you, but think about what really does it mean. To me, it means giving back to your community, being a useful, productive member of your society, and getting good education to financially get by. But just think about that as we go about the day. I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up now. But I just wanted to say again, thank you for being here. I'm truly humbled that I have you here today. So thank you.
Okay, last speaker, this is a very unusual speaker. You see, there's no one else sitting here to speak to you today, but we do have another person to speak to us. This person is a former CTMS Wolf, and she also went to Grapevine High School. After graduation, she joined the Marines and is currently serving in Okinawa, Japan.
It is my great privilege to share with you a recent Skype video that I had with private first class Vanessa Corey. Her brother and sister are sitting right here. Would you guys please stand up?
Hi, Vanessa. How are you tonight?
I'm doing good, thank you.
So it's let's see, it's 8 o'clock here in Texas. So it's what time in Japan? Saturday morning?
It's 10:47 Saturday morning.
Okay, gotcha. Very good. Okay, we have some questions and some things that we just wanted to talk about. And let's just start off about talking about the main reason that you joined the Marines.
The main reason why I joined was to give my little brother and sister something that they could look up to, and they could have something that could show that just because we come from a family that didn't come from much, that you can become a whole lot more.
Okay, so it gave you an opportunity to do more with your life. Why the
Yes.
Marines? Why the Marines and not the Air Force or the Army or the Navy?
When I first started looking into the military, I actually had an Army representative come to my door, knock on my door, give me a package, and he wanted to recruit me. And I just took the package and kind of just like closed the door. I wasn't exactly sure. Everyone told me, go Navy, go Air Force, don't go Marines. Don't go Marines, don't go Marines, don't go Marines. And I was just like, why not Marines? And like, that is the hardest branch to get into, you know, and I was just like, so you basically tell me I can't make it. And when I talked to the recruiter, and he explained like the values and the morale of the United States Marine Corps, I fell in love with it. It was basically what I grew up with. It was definitely the father figure that I was missing from when I was raised. Mm-hmm. So.
Okay. How do you get into? Do you have to take a test, or they don't just accept everybody, do they?
You do have to take a test.
Okay.
It's called the ASVAB. So it's like a SAT or ACT.
Okay.
But so it's like the same concept.
Okay, good. How do you think joining the Marines has changed your life?
Joining the Marines has changed my life in a big sense. I would say like not a full 360, but maybe a 180. Because I was already really mature for my age. But the Marine Corps has definitely showed me the ins and outs of some things. My mom raised me as a single parent. My dad wasn't around, so I never had that father figure. And that's what the Marine Corps has done for me. It's like the Marine Corps is basically the father figure. Like they showed me what my dad was supposed to show me.
Okay.
And so.
Very good. Very, very awesome. If you weren't in the Marines, Vanessa, what do you think you'd be doing today?
If I wasn't in the Marines, I'd probably be working maybe two jobs right now. Trying to make ends meet. Doing whatever I can to get like financial aid or, you know, student loans to try to get into college.
And that brings me to another point, going to college. When you're done with the military, or even, I guess, while you're still in the military, is there a way that they can help you go to college?
I'm enrolled in classes right now for college.
Are you really?
I am. I'm taking online classes.
That's wonderful. That's terrific. That's a good direction for you to take. Let's talk about the military and what you're doing today, and what has the military taught you that you wished you knew 5 years ago?
Definitely just how to do things like in a different mindset.
Mm-hmm.
I was definitely 15 5 years ago, so it's just like the way you take things and how you present them.
Hmm. So it's helped you grow up quite a bit, hasn't it?
It has.
That's interesting. So tell us about your job. What do you do?
I'm an embarkation specialist, 0431. When we get ready to deploy, basically what I do is get it's like a database that I'm working with, and it's on a computer. I get like all the records that we're taking, like as in trucks, equipment, quadcons and stuff like that. I get the measurements, the dimensions, and the weights of it, and I just put into this database and just let's put everything together to see what we're taking.
Okay, that sounds awesome. So you really need to know your math and science to do this kind of a job. Would you say that?
Yes,
Okay.
there's actual a lot of math when dealing with it because you have to. There's actual like equations that we have to deal with and to get like center balances of trucks, and I could say math helped me a lot.
So if you're talking to the cross timber students today, so you would tell them to pay attention in math and science classes?
Definitely.
Okay, that's
It
awesome.
helps.
Okay, how did high school help you prepare for this? Obviously, we're talking about math and science, and you have to write stuff, and you've got to make sure that you use proper grammar and that you write well. And uh, I guess I'm a little biased here because I love social studies. But how did high school or middle school help you prepare for what you're doing today?
It actually helped a lot because, well, one, like, I mean, in high school, you have, like, the reading class and, well, the language arts, and they have you do certain formats on writing letters and stuff. And so here in the Marine Corps, when we have to write a letter, there's certain formats and there's certain things that you have to do. So, I mean, paying attention in those classes definitely helps. History, of course. I mean, we
Yes.
are history, so.
That's right. And you're living in an incredible place because World War II and Japan and the United States, there certainly is a lot of history behind that. Let me ask you a little bit about the beginnings of your basic training and what went through your mind the first day you showed up at basic training. I can only imagine.
The first day I showed up to basic training, I got off that bus and stepped on the little footprints and thought, what did I get myself into? Why am I here? People yelling in my face and telling me to go here and go there and really fast, and no sleep for like the first few days. So, I mean, I was just like, oh my goodness, why?
You got through it though. How many weeks was basic training?
It's 13 weeks.
13 weeks. So tell us about graduation.
Oh man, graduation. It was definitely a huge weight lifted off my shoulders. Nobody yelling at me anymore. No more being called a recruit. I was definitely called a Marine. So it was definitely a blessing to finally graduate.
Was it an emotional feeling for you?
It was very emotional because out of the whole crowd, I spotted my mom.
Oh.
And she was able to make it to my graduation, and it was a blessing.
That's wonderful. Where was basic training?
Paris Island, South Carolina.
And that's where they do all their basic training, isn't it?
There's one also in San Diego.
Oh, okay.
The men.
Okay. So you're in Japan, correct?
Yes.
What do you think about the culture and the life there?
I love it. It's really different. I'm not saying I'm trying to learn the language, but it does help. I try to learn how to say my barracks number, so whenever I get into the taxis, I can tell them which barracks to go to in Japanese, but it doesn't work all the time. But I would say every time I get into a taxi, they turn around and they look at me, and they ask ask me, they're like, Japanese, are you?
How do the Japanese people treat American soldiers there? What have you found?
I found they treated us really well. They really do. We actually, I mean, they work everywhere, but I mean, they're so kind. I mean, the experiences I've had, there's not once where it's been a bad experience with the natives or the locals. So,
So the civilians who work on base, they're Japanese civilians?
some of them are.
Some are, and then some Americans as well?
Some American as well.
So tell us about Japanese food. Do you like it?
I like it. I've tried octopus for the first time.
Okay.
It was pretty good. It was I was surprised.
Do you put any hot sauce on that like we would in Texas?
I actually didn't have the chance to because all they gave me was soy sauce.
Okay.
So.
How about the weather? Is it like Texas, or how different is it?
Well, Texas, we're used to dry heat, just straight dry heat. But believe it or not, it's really hot here.
Mm-hmm.
But it's humid.
Okay.
There's a lot of humidity here, so
Sure.
we're just getting out of typhoon season. So hopefully we won't get hit by any more typhoons. We've gotten hit maybe twice, but they weren't big ones. We got like the skirts of the typhoons. So
How long do you think you'll be there, and what do you think your next stop will be?
I'm here till 2015. So I'm on a 2-year contract here in Japan. Hopefully, with my fingers crossed, I will be going to Thailand in February.
Now, you had mentioned something to me the other day when we talked about a possible promotion. Could you talk about that?
Yes. With time and grade, I'm not supposed to get promoted till March. But my chain of command has seen something in me and decided to try to promote me faster. They put me on a meritorious Lance Corporal board, and which is getting ran this Thursday. So I've already taken some pictures in certain uniforms because they have to make sure I look good in uniform.
Mm-hmm.
That I meet the standards of the Marine Corps. There's a lot of knowledge that I have to learn. I've already learned it, but it's just retouching on the memories of it. And so I'm really excited. I really hope I win this board, because if I win this board, I get promoted in December.
That would be wonderful. Do you have to take a test?
Not for this one. Well, it's kind of like a test. I'm in front of 5 higher-ups, and they ask me like 3 questions each.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a test, but no written test.
So you need to be able to stand up in front of them, speak to them, speak well, sound intelligent, correct?
Yes, and with a lot of confidence.
Yes.
I could say the answer completely wrong, but if I say it with confidence, they won't give me the answer correct, but they would be like, okay, well, at least she's confident.
Yes. Anyway, Vanessa, you mentioned something that they saw something in you, and it doesn't surprise me at all, or any of your teachers who will be watching this on Veterans Day, because we always knew there was something special about you. And for the Marine Corps to see that, that's very, very incredible and very wonderful for you, and we're very proud of you. You had mentioned something about a teacher that you had in your freshman year at Grapevine High School. Do you want to tell the audience about that?
Yes. One of my main things when I was in high school, it was my freshman year, my English teacher pulled me to the side, and I guess she saw in the system what they had me in, and she told me, she was like, I want to tell you this, but don't take it and run away from it, but take it and run with it. So she told me that in the system they had me as a high risk to not graduate. So my thing was, I was like, okay, because of my family history, no one's really graduated in my family, so they put me in the system as a high risk not to graduate. So I was like, okay, I will definitely take it with a grain of salt, and I will take it with me. And so that pushed me to do better in school. I hardly miss school ever, so I was always there. And my main thing was I wanted to walk on that stage and be like, yes, I made it, even though you thought I was a high risk to not graduate. So it definitely pushed me to do better.
So you weren't going to you wanted to prove them wrong, if I'm hearing you correctly. And you did,
Definitely.
obviously, because look where you are today. Tell everybody about the story that you wanted to go to school when it was snowing.
I've always loved school. Since I was little, I've always loved school. My mom would even tell me sometimes that school was canceled because it was snowing. I was like, no, it's not. So I walked to school, and I had to call my mom because the doors were locked, and I was like, Mom, school's canceled. And she's like, I told you. So, I mean, I always tell my little brother and sister, like, you have to go to school no matter what, so why not love it? Why not fall in love with it so you can have a passion to actually go and do better? So.
Okay. What advice do you have for young people, and not just about joining the military, and just about life in general, about their education and their desire to do well? Do you have some advice for everyone who's watching you today?
I do. Just, if it's just going to school and you just think, oh, well, nobody else in my family's done it, or, you know, no one's become a success, so how can I, or, you know, what am I doing this for? Do it for yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, then really nobody else can believe in you. Just stay in school. It's like one of the main things. You hear all the time, stay in school, don't do drugs, but honestly, it helps. Staying in school, because you can't, nowadays, I'm pretty sure you can't even like work at McDonald's without a high school diploma. So, you know, it's hard, but definitely just, if you find a passion for something, you continue to do it. And just stay dedicated to it, and you will definitely find, you know, incentive to keep going.
Do you have anything that you'd like to say to Jasmine or Cyrus, who are sitting here watching their big sister in Japan?
Yes. Cyrus, I love you. I heard you're in football, so keep it up. I would love to see one of your games, but I'm too far to see it. Jasmine, I love you. Definitely keep up the good work. I'm proud of you. And I hope to see you guys in January.
And didn't you tell them that if they do well in school, you'll come home? Or you'll be able to visit? Yes.
They have to keep good grades up in order for me to come home. So.
Okay. Well, we'll make sure that happens.
They have to keep their bargain.
I know it's your weekend, and we've put a lot of time into this, and a few mishaps on my part, but I know that everybody who's watching you is very, very proud of you, and you're a role model for so many of our students. And the reason we kept trying to make this work is because your message is a very strong and powerful one for our community. And we love you dearly, we miss you, and look forward to when you come back and see us in person again. And visit my class again, like you did last year. That was awesome.
I would love to.
Okay. Thank you very much, sweetheart.
Thank you.
This is a very powerful video that will speak for itself. PMC Coral is part of the 3rd Marine Expeditionary Force, Combat Logistics Regiment 3, Combat Logistics Regiment 4, S3 Section, Training and Operations Group. Please sit back and enjoy.
We know that was a special surprise. daughter. And now we're so lucky to be able to hear from the magnificent Wolf Band as they play an American Club.
very much. I don't know who was behind that. I'm sure it was Ford Clark. Thank you. That was very touching. I had no idea how it was coming. Now you know why I do what I do. I would like for Vanessa's mother and Jasmine and Zyrus to please come forward. It was my pleasure to visit with Vanessa. We tried that maybe last year several times to get that to go well.
And I told a lot of people that I talked earlier, I come from a generation when I was in college, we used the microfiche machine. So here I am now, Skyping and recording it on QuickTime, and I have Oscar. So it was easy and it was fun, and I learned a lot from your daughter. I learned a lot from young people, which helps us going forward. This is just a little gift that we would like to give you. She truly is our inspiration, and I hope you listen to her powerful words about education, because that's what this is all about. Without her education, she wouldn't be in the room today. And I think one of her most powerful words came when she said, "I'm no longer a recruit, I'm a Marine." And I think that's what volumes are for. Thank you for being here. Promotion that she was hoping for, she received, she'll be called Lance Corporal Cora on December 2nd. She got it. Just a few kind words for you here. This is the poem I close with every year, and I think it's just a little bit harder to get through this year, but I will do it. It is the veteran, not the preacher, who has given us freedom of religion. It is the veteran, not the reporter, who has given us freedom of Christ. It is the veteran, not the poet, who has given us freedom of speech. It is the veteran, not the campus organizer, who has given us freedom to assemble. It is the veteran, not the lawyer, who has given us the right to a fair trial. It is the veteran, not the politician, who has given us the right to vote. It is the veteran who salutes the flag and who serves under the flag. And just one more time, I would love for our veterans to please stand.
Hi CTMS, I'm Captain Kelly Haslett, Pat Brolin's daughter. I'm a member of the Air Force and I'm stationed here at Hurlburt Field in Florida. Like Captain Maldonado, I'm also a JAG, but before all this, I was a member of the second graduating class of CTMS in 1998. I just wanted to thank all of you guys for the support that you're showing all members of the armed forces, both active duty and retired, this Veterans Day, and always. My mom's incredibly proud of the program at Cross Timbers Middle School, and she should be. Y'all put on an absolutely amazing event, but it turned into more than that in recent years. The cards, the packages, the sheer support that you've shown for people that you've never even met is truly inspiring. Each of you makes me proud to be a CTMS Wolf. Thank you for the hospitality you've shown the guest speakers. Captain Jeremy Maldonado and his family are some of my very dear friends, and I love that he can see how wonderful CTMS is. I'm also glad that you got to hear from Private First Class Coro. A fellow Wolf graduating and becoming a Marine is a truly inspiring and amazing story. But before all this is done, I want to take a minute and I want to recognize my mom and people like her who put on events like this to recognize members of our military, active duty and retired. She's done a truly awesome job, and everyone that supported her, I thank all of you very much. Thank you for the day. Thank you for what you do to help us help you. Thanks, Mom. You're awesome. and I love you.
Losing my voice. So we'll be playing the taps for us. And out of respect for the seriousness of the song and the piece, when it's done being played, please do not clap. Please do not applaud, not for the performance or for the song itself. Okay, it's just a very solemn occasion. We usually play the song in notes. So it's playing it for us today as a perfect ending to a perfect morning. And I know that we all appreciate what this day is about, and Mr. Malcolm playing that for us. Veterans, we are inviting you all to please join us in the library for refreshments. So before we start dismissing all of the students, we will escort you to the library. If you guys would like to help do that. Okay.
Rolls, I'm very proud of your attention today and your respect. It was really, really amazing. And you guys are so respectful and you honor the veterans. I'm really proud of you guys. So let's dismiss. Let's wait just a moment for our veterans to get down the hall. We'll continue in first period, and teachers will ring bells, so you'll have to look at your schedule, and we'll run a short day for the day so that we can get to our classes. But we'll do an awesome piece. Thank you, parents. Thank you for coming too. You're welcome to join us in the library reception. So let's have the proper